Smoke back to you with another one, and this video is very painful to make. As we all know, the Chiefs lose Super Bowl 59 to the Philadelphia Eagles in blowout fashion. Um, I asked myself during the game, is this Chiefs dynasty over with? Has the window closed for their Super Bowl opportunities? Andy Reid is just getting older. Travis Kelsey, there's been rumors of him retiring. And all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes might be by himself. Today, really nobody showed up around him. I mean, he didn't show up too as well. I mean, he had one of his probably his worst performance of his career to that Buccaneers game. But even in that game, Pat showed up. It's just the guys around him didn't. Today, nobody showed up for the Chiefs besides their defense early on, who kept them in this football game. And this game definitely isn't on Steve Spagnuolo. Um, I think he did a pretty good job. He did as well of a job as he could have. He was he the Eagles had great field position all day in this game. Patrick Mahomes just could do nothing out there. Realistically, there were times where he would get out to his right and um, the Eagles either intercepted it or it was an inaccurate throw. And that's on Patrick. But do the Chiefs ever get back to a Super Bowl again? I think they do, but I have to ask this question. I mean, is the dynasty over? Is it time where you see the Buffalo Bills get over this hump? The Baltimore Ravens get over this hump? Do they see this victory from the Eagles and smell blood in the water? Does this game give teams a blueprint on how to beat Patrick Mahomes in a big game? Now the Buccaneers game did too as well in that Super Bowl, but I think the problem was for the Chiefs in this game. It was just the defensive line for the Eagles was just too tough. Um, Finally, the offensive line of the Chiefs really got exposed, and you knew it was a bad offensive line going into the game, but you kind of just had hope Joe Tooney sliding over to that left tackle position would help out on the pass rush, and it didn't. Mahomes he would try to slide out to his right, and it's just that defensive end was over pursuing, and um, he would get right to about that 5-6 yard mark, and Mahomes would have to step up in the pocket and try to get to his right, and Jalen Carter was right there because he's pushing that way. It's just a good game plan by the Eagles to force Mahomes to stay in the pocket or get out to his left, and that was a story in this game. Um, the reason I say the dynasty could be closing is the Chiefs don't have a run game. They haven't had a run game in a long time, and I know that they've been trying in the past couple years to really go to a run game and get away from the deep passing game. Um, but really, the ability to score is in question. It's been in question for most of the season. They've just had so many opportunities to score the football and just can't move it. They can't move the football for some reason, and today it was no different. Yeah, and they've won a lot of games this year, but a lot of them were by one score, and something happened in the fourth quarter late in the game, a blocked field goal or a bad snap, and they won the football game. They probably should have lost about 4 or 5 games this year. They lucked out. There wasn't a golden horseshoe big enough to pull out for this one. They lost to a better team, and moving forward, how in the hell can they beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Because I know that the Eagles are going to be back in this football game next year. How can they beat them? I think any other team in the NFC, if the Chiefs play like this, they'll lose to the Lions, they'll lose to the 49ers. All these games are close with Patrick Mahomes. They got to find a way really to start putting points on the board and beating teams by multiple scores. And it's torture really to watch these games, but um, they had been finding ways to win, and really you're just kind of blind to the fact about it. But the Chiefs dynasty could be closing, and tonight was um, the first sign of it. It really was. The Eagles go on to win Super Bowl 59, and they do it. They do it in style, basically. I mean, it was like they were supposed to do it. There was no doubt at all. They own this football game from start to finish, and the Chiefs have some holes, some question marks going into next year. Uh, is this dynasty the same? Does this team look the same? I know it's not going to look the same going into next year. There'll be some players leaving. I think Hollywood Brown isn't back next year. I think DeAndre Hopkins isn't back. Um, I think they need to restructure Mahomes' contract. He always does that, and try to get Trey Smith signed and try to find a left tackle in the draft. There's not much they can do. They can't trade for a guy. The salary cap is short. They don't have really much money to work with, and it's going to have to be a draft pick. They're going to have to hit on a tackle in the draft, and it's so hard to do, especially in a high pick in the late 20s or 30s now. But realistically, they're going to have offensive line troubles for a while, and let's hope the defense can stay intact because Nick Bolton is also a free agent. They got McDuffie coming up on a contract too as well. They don't like to sign corners. They also got Watson too. He's on a contract too as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Carl Office is on a contract. They're gonna have to reload and do it some way. I mean, the only thing I can think of is trading Chris Jones and trying to pick up some draft capital for that. They do got an extra third round pick with Snead. Maybe they can use that and trade up and try to get a left tackle. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they can trade up and get a left tackle, and it won't solve it next year. I mean, that tackle is going to have some issues, but hopefully Mahomes has got about 10, 12 years left in his career. He needs a left tackle that's going to be there for a while, and he knows he can trust on that blind side. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it, and look for more content in the future. And like I said, I don't block anyone. I'll eat the crow. I'll respond to every single message. This loss is tough. It's going to take some time to get over with, but what helps is the Super Bowls they've won previously. You kind of hold those a little bit tighter, and yeah, it's a humbling loss. And Chiefs are gonna go into the offseason looking to fill some holes, especially on their defensive line, their offensive line. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.